Hi, welcome to Just Building tonight with Jeff and Joe and Jeff, and maybe other people too. I don't know yet, but normally this is the part where we would roll our, fun intro and everything. But this is not tons of fun. This is a patron reward for both of these knuckleheads. So what I'm going to do is attempt to piece together Arkham Asylum from Atlanta Brick Company. When you buy a set, do not give it a cursory glance. Look into all of it and make sure that those bags are numbered. Hey, what's up, Whiskey? All the way from Australia. And I'm pretty sure my headphones died.
No, we can hear you. Oh. Can you hear us?
There we go. Okay, we're back. Maybe? Nothing ever goes right for me. Okay, perfect. We're good now. Hi, how are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Happy to be able to build finally after working all day.
This is where the mediocre fun is happening. We're not a ton of fun tonight. We're just building and chatting tonight. And I'm not going to do tons of fun again until Dawn is ready to do tons of fun. Which is probably something that my co-host might not agree with.
No, makes sense.
I think it makes sense.
So, moving right along.
Assuming we were the co-hosts and Dawn wasn't the co-host.
Joseph, you got to do the doodle stream with Kevin Hinkle today.
I did do that today.
None of my suggestions got put up on the drawing board.
What was that?
You didn't take any of my suggestions.
I put them down.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Are you sure?
I promise.
3 hours later.
I promise I did.
Matt Keller, I don't know who you are, but hello. And welcome.
Hey, Matt.
How's it going? If you're new to the channel, typically we'd be having a peek behind the fandom tonight, but we've got one of my main co-hosts is down for the count, as it were, so we're just going to build some stuff. And Jeff is working on a small not this Jeff, the other Jeff, is working on a very small castle that, he should be done with it in about two minutes.
Yeah, if only.
Yeah, right?
Just pan this webcam around to kind of show the very small. Oh, that's not going to work.
Very small. Yes.
Anyways, it goes all the way to over where I am here, but anyway. It's only 7 feet by 7-ish feet currently.
Yeah. Joseph, you haven't stated what you're working on, unless it's those weird things that look like lady parts.
I'm working on a Persona 5 character, one of the summons, Carmen. She's like a salsa dancer with a panther head. So I'm working on that. I was hoping to have at least some significant progress made so that during my lug meeting next week, I can get some help, because there's a lot of really talented construction builders in my lug. And but that's not looking to be the case, because one of my orders got delayed and it's not getting here until the day before the meeting. And I don't know if I'll be able to do all the experimenting I wanted to do before the actual meeting starts. So a bit unfortunate.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Where's that order coming from?
Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Got delayed?
Yeah, so I won't say the name of the store. It's a popular brick store. And when I ordered, they said, hey, if you pay, depending on when you pay, you'll get a shipping date of either Tuesday or Thursday. Okay. And I was like, oh, all right. And then it said it can take up to a week to ship. And I was like, oh, that might be because if you pay on Friday, you have to wait until next week.
Yeah.
No, it takes a week for them to pull your order after you've paid, and then they will send on the corresponding
Tuesday or
Thursday. So,
yeah.
it's been a little bit of time, but I guess I should have read more closely, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Some of the terms of service that you see in the stores are very confusing, especially when they're in German, but that's a different story.
I had to pay for I had one store that paid me $7 for a handling fee for an order that fits in this bag.
Yeah,
Seven.
same.
Are you kidding
Really?
me?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just wrong. But I mean, I ordered from a German store, or I was looking for some parts a couple of weeks ago from one of the German stores,
Mhm.
and when I placed the order and got to the shopping cart, it was like, 30 euro shipping, which is like 50 Canadian. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. So I started reducing parts in the order. I got it down to one part, and it was still 30 euros. It's 30 euros to ship anything out of that for that guy to ship anything because he ships it as a parcel.
Mm.
And I'm like, they don't have different weighted things. Like, obviously, he's just asking for as much money as he can,
Yeah.
right? Like, he'll probably ship it for a lot cheaper.
Yep.
Hey,
Hey,
Dave.
Dave. Do you want me to send Dave the link?
I think we're good for now, but
Okay.
maybe in a little bit.
I shouldn't just make that comment out loud because then Dave gets excited and now.
Are you kidding me? The part that I'm looking for is the one order that isn't here yet.
Oh,
Man.
getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I just tried muting mine. You still getting it, Jeff? Okay.
Might be me.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Let's see here. Whiskey, my buddy from Australia, asked me, "You see the new Batman sets for the Batman movie? Kinda okay?" Question mark. I was actually a little bit more with kinda okay. To tell you the truth. The Batcave in particular is something I'm really looking forward to. I really like that idea, and the other part of me is like, "Hey, big brain, yeah, you know you can build that, right? With the parts you have, but not those parts." So the struggle is real.
Yeah.
There's sets that I pass on because and this is not to discredit the designers. The designers have to build to a very limited set of their own abilities. But I'm like, well, I could build that. So do I really need to buy it?
Yeah, I mean, once you see it, I mean, it's not hard to build, but
Yeah.
if you built it out of your head, it would never look the same as they would have it, right? Like,
Right. I mean, it's no turtle van.
yeah, that's cool, Van.
I showed the person that ordered it. I showed it to them, and they were like, "It's okay." I was like, "Yep." So
That's it? It's okay?
no, they were kind of flabbergasted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the way you said
Did
it
you
made
guys-
it sound like they didn't like it.
Yeah.
No, quite the opposite. We've had him on the show, Narc, not another retro channel. Craig, he was one of the toy hunters that visited, and he did the turtle episode.
Yeah.
And we were talking. I caught one of his live streams, and I was like, you could get the turtle lair out of Lego, or the turtle van out of Lego. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. If only you knew a guy that did Lego commission pieces.
Nice.
So gave him a deal, charged him for the parts, and yeah.
Nice.
And hopefully he tells all of his other toy hunting buddies.
Yeah. Did you get the stickers on already?
No, I have not, because my mother-in-law has the X-Acto knife,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and she is currently celebrating her birthday, so happy birthday, Dusty.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No, Dave, I don't think that's the sign that the movie will suck. I think it's we have this, we have to release it. It's kind of like the Ecto 1. Lego doesn't give a shit about your delayed movie.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
they played those sets like 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the same with Ghostbusters. I mean, that big-ass Ecto 1 came out for a movie that got pushed back again and again and again and again.
Yeah. When is it coming out now?
November 19th,
Okay.
2 days before Harold Ramis' birthday.
Cool.
So nice little tribute for that for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's Andrew Whiskey. It's Batman Year 2, from what I understand. So like he's already kind of established himself. He's already got like a good thing going with Commissioner Gordon. So who knows, right?
I don't think he's a commissioner yet, though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know, and it's kind of like the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. Like I'm not going out of my way to try to hunt stuff down.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh come on, Pattinson was horrible in the Twilight flicks, 100%. But every other movie he's done has been fantastic.
I didn't even know he did other movies.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
Oh yeah, he does a lot of serious dramatic work, and like it's kind of funny because Twilight made him rich, and now he's just like, I guess I'm gonna do this movie. Oh, it didn't do well. That's okay. You know?
Yeah. That's just crazy.
Have you guys seen the trailer? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Have you guys seen the trailer for Resident Evil? Welcome to Raccoon City.
I have not.
Joseph, you'll love it because it's fabulous and dark and scary.
I do like something with a flair for the dramatic, so I'll take a look.
And that's why I haven't seen it, because I don't really care about things that are, dark and scary.
Oh, really? You're not a big fan on the spooky?
Not so much. I don't know. Just not my style. It could be that I've just never gone out of my way to watch something. You know what I mean? Like I end up watching what's the one now? Jack Nicholson one, the famous one, the ski lodge.
The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining. I watched that with my daughter a couple of months back, and we both thought, didn't really understand what the heck was going on in most of it, but we enjoyed it. That was the first time I'd actually seen it. Just because I never really had a need to, right?
Did you watch the sequel?
There's a sequel?
Yeah, it's called Dr. Sleep.
I did not know this.
Huh? It's got Ewan McGregor in it. He plays Danny all grown up.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh. And Andrew, I am super excited for The Matrix 4. I don't care how it's done. I just like the fact that it's getting done.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah, storyline, whatever, fine. Okay, sure, great, whatever. Yep. Thanks for bringing us back to this universe.
Yes, exactly.
I haven't seen The Matrix in a long time, but I do remember I did like it. I always liked the Matrix movies. I just haven't seen them forever.
Yeah, it was the quintessential late 90s movie with like Rob Zombie music, black leather, and guns.
Mm-hmm.
And Keanu Reeves.
Whoa. Oh, I have a bad thing to admit. I watched Bill and Ted. Whatchamacallit? Bill and
Face
Ted's.
the Music?
Face the Music. I only made it halfway through before I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to watch this anymore. So I stopped.
Another movie I never saw as a kid. And Go ahead, Joseph. Sorry.
Is that the new one? Because I know that they came out with a new one.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the original one, so I found a service that has them, so I was going to watch them and just haven't gotten to it yet, so that I could watch the new one. But based on your review, maybe I won't.
Well, like, I started watching it, and like the first opening 10 minutes of it, I was like, okay. And then like it just was a steady like list of, oh God, why? Like the rising level of cringe there. Hey Seth, how's it going, man? Glad to see you here.
Hey Seth.
So, funny story, for those of you that are joining us, I bought Arkham Asylum from the Atlanta Brick Company. Hooray! I saw bags, and I didn't know that they were not numbered. So this is where we're at.
All right. Dark World.
Also, Dune is coming out this month.
Yes.
Like-
Isn't it coming in this
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, it's gonna be on the HBO Max and everything, and like I don't have to go to the theater. Man, Dune. It looks great.
October 22nd, at least here in Canada. And James Bond is out this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, and I
Mhm.
cannot wait to see it. We're just gonna wait until we're a little bit more okay with things before we go to the theater.
Yep.
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 But all I know is I get to have giant-sized Jason Momoa on my TV screen while I watch a movie, and I know I'm not the only one that speaks for that here, but I'd be okay with having sex with Jason Momoa. It'd be alright if he used me and just threw me away. I'd be okay with it. Really, I would. Like, no relationship. It's fine. See you later, sir.
See you later. Someone leaving?
I suppose that's the first crush I have that's a dude that I have those feelings for.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
It's exciting
man.
development.
Isn't it though?
I guess, yeah, in all seriousness.
Joseph Sawada, you would be A-okay with Jason Momoa whining and dining and 69ing you, right?
I'm not a big Jason Momoa fan.
Oh. But he's very handsome.
He is handsome.
All right. Whatever. It's fine.
I'm robbing 2x4 bricks off of other pieces of my castle to finish building over here.
Hey, my
It's
sister.
ridiculous.
Go up. What's this?
Hey, Lex, one.
How's it
Yo,
going?
fucking tired.
What's on your t-shirt?
Uh,
Hey, Lexi.
a knight
Oh, okay.
with a sword.
Asshole.
Oh, how are you doing tonight, sis?
Like I said, I'm just. It's been a couple of years, man.
Oh, shit.
I saw one of my coworkers yesterday, and it was really weird because when we all left the office, she was about to go on maternity leave, and then when I just saw her again, she was about to go on maternity leave again because she's pregnant with twins, and I was like, that is so weird.
Yo, man, maybe that lady needs to keep her legs closed.
Oh my goodness.
Is she
You're
ready?
going to hell, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
She's trying to grow a family.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were just like, this lady's a slut. Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
In which case, it's okay because we don't.
Did you
slut shame
confirm
her.
that she had the first kid?
She did. She did.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Hey, Chris.
Chris, I'm gonna toss you an invite. I'm gonna see what happens. What's your name? Your name is Chris. Do I have you readily available? This is quality content right here. Jeff mumbling to himself as he tries to find kittens on MSN Messenger. There he is. All right.
Say Amazon Messenger?
I don't know what I said, man. I'm really
Okay, I
tired.
was gonna say, Amazon has a messaging service?
Sure, why not?
I'm sure Amazon
get-
owns something that has its own messenger service.
Oh,
I'm sure
probably.
Bezos has that going for him, yeah. All right, well, yeah. This is horrible. I did not prepare for this. I just cleared off my desk a little bit and was like, this'll work. By the way, no numbers. Oh, this sucks. This sucks a lot. Oh, luggage. It's not a cool set. Right now it's in pieces. But it will be a cool set eventually. And luggage, what's going on, man? Glad to see you here. He was one of our first, well, one of my first subscribers. So
Nice.
it's good to have you, buddy.
Thank you for your continued support.
Yep. Hey, Lexi, did you find your Y-Wing yet?
No, didn't
Oh.
really look last time I was out.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Like I said, like with the stuff I told you about on
Mhm.
Monday with my brother's family, and then all of that, and just this week piling on because it's getting close to when my dad passed. So
Yeah. It's been a rough one for a lot of people.
yeah, it's.
If you guys ever want to experience the best time of your life, have a wife that takes meds like you do, and then suddenly be told that she has to change them, and then watch that fun unravel.
Oh, no.
And then just sit there like a deer in headlights and be like, what can I do to help you? Dude, I don't know what to do. And like, there's literally nothing but like, oh man, look at that. You're going through withdrawal. I know what this is like. I'll go grab the buckets.
Yeah. Okay.
She's okay today though, which is cool. Which I'm happy about.
That's good.
The last few days have been really rough on her, on just life in general. But anywho, Joseph Zawada, what are you? I already asked you that. I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. I'm working on a character build right now. I'm working on like her little minions. I have like the main salsa dancer, and then she has like 2 little friends in tuxedos. So I'm currently building their tuxedos.
Joseph, you have to tell us about what happened at D&D this week, by the way.
This week?
Yeah.
Oh, just in general?
Well, I mean, you always add a little bit of Joseph Zawada flair to your story, so that's what I'm getting at here.
Well, so I guess I should start with to preface what happened 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And I guess for those who haven't been following, I started playing D&D about a month ago. I'm very new to it, so I'm still in the throes of getting used to the game, all that kind of stuff. And I go to a game store that has a beginner's table. And I was at the table, and I've been going there for like 3 weeks, and everything was going good. And then last week, to make a very long story short, someone showed up who was not a new player. They were not remotely new to the game, and they expected a lot of the new players. He's like a 6-year veteran of D&D, and he was expecting us to play at the level of a 6-year veteran. And I understand, like, trying to teach people how to play the game in like an improved sense. I get all that, but it was such a stark change. I found it kind of alarming, and I didn't particularly enjoy having him at the table. This week he did not show up, which I was happy about. I was like, why can't you just go play at another table, please? I'm just new, and I'm not gonna, because he wanted us to do like voices, like charades and voices and all of these things, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm still embarrassed and kind of shy about doing that in public. Believe it or not, I know I kind of have weird antics, but portraying and improvising a character in public, not something I'm accustomed to doing. So this week he was not there. We had a pretty standard game. We just continued on with our little journey. I'll tell you what, though, I was kind of bummed because while we were there, I noticed that one of the other new players obviously got invited to go hang out with our dungeon master at another game.
Okay.
And I wasn't invited.
He's got FOMO.
I was like, oh, I guess I wasn't invited. All right. Okay. And I was kind of bummed. That I didn't get invited. And I was like, am I not playing well enough? Like, what's the deal? So I was trying to like see what that guy was offering that I wasn't. And I was like, I feel like I'm offering more than he does. I'm like, what's wrong? Why doesn't this guy like me? And
Joseph, I would like to do an impression of you as soon as you found out that guy was invited and you were not. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh, yeah. Now I had a mask. A lot of it was, so it was more like. But so I'm like, oh well. But now I've kind of reasoned it out in my head. This may be me just lying to myself to make myself feel better. But the guy who got invited, he has friends who are very ingrained in the local D&D community. So I'm like, okay, yes, like friends there who were at like the advanced table, and I'm like, maybe it was like an invitation, like, hey, you and your friend could come. I was like, maybe it's that. I may be lying to make myself feel better. If that's what you believe, don't write it in the comments. I don't need confirmation bias that isn't true. So let me live in my fantasy.
Okay. That's it. That's just okay. So I'm on step 6 of this thing, and I can't find the other wheel well, and I'm not really happy about it.
Oof.
Yep, but it's somewhere in this pile.
Full screen.
I'm not going full screen.
Oh, come on. Then we can help you find it.
This is about as exciting as
We can just be like, oh, it's right there, right beside that other piece. No, over there.
Yeah. See, and that's why we're not doing that. What would I do in this situation? Aha! I'm not going to ask for any help on this. Oh, I'll get it. Or I'll go to my parts bin and grab the piece.
That works. But also sucks because then you got to get up and go to your parts bin.
I don't really like getting up. That's this thing too. Oh, so my legs are in horrible shape. My back is in horrible shape. Everything is just bad.
Uh-oh.
And I had to go to Walmart today, and I had to go grocery shopping. And like halfway through the store, my left leg was like, "Hey Jeff, yeah, we're not going to work anymore." What?
Oh.
And then it just stopped. And so I limp walked back to the front of the store and like grabbed a cart and threw all of the crap into it and was like, okay, this is fine. You know, nobody's judging you for this. Don't think that they are. Just go through your life. Just live your best life. And like, I'm leaving and I see a flock of 14-year-old like teenagers and I'm like, oh shit.
The scariest.
Yeah, and immediately, oh, look at that guy. And it's like, God damn it, really?
They're so scary.
Like, I was just like, don't say anything. Please just don't say anything. Just like, let me be. I'm not too pleased about this either.
Yeah.
But nope. So then my feelings were hurt from strangers, and I went back to shopping.
I always find whenever I'm out in public, people say the wildest things to me, and I'm always like very surprised by. I don't know what it is about me, but people feel the.
Illinois Nazis.
Oh goodness!
I hate Illinois Nazis. Hey Andrew, have a good one, bud, and you need to do another video on your city. On your actual custom city that's actually custom. Thank you.
Oh gosh.
Oh, he's in Australia.
He's in Australia, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I've heard there are really bad lockdowns there.
I heard it's pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was surprised by what people will walk up to me in public and say. For example, I was at a cannoli. I was at our local grocery store, and my mom was like, "Hey Joe, can you go grab 2 cannolis, one for each of us?" I was like, "Sure." So I walk over to the cannoli counter, or like the bakery counter, and I order 2 cannolis, and then I hear some dude next to me go, "Ugh, 2 of them, really?" And I look over, and first thing I'm like, "This is the last thing I want to hear." I'm like, "I do not need this." So I look over, and it's a dude who's like heavier than me. I'm like, "Okay. All right, this is like a solidarity in like overweightness, kind of like, oh, I'm fat, you're fat, we can joke about this, which I'm okay with to an extent, not in this situation and not with a stranger." And I was like, oh, yep, you know me, eat my 2 cannolis, and then he looks at me and he goes, "Hey," and he grabs his stomach and goes, "Want to have a belly battle?" And I was like, no, I'm good.
Nope, I'm hard now.
I'm fine. So I left, and then I like bumped into my mom, and I was like, "Mom, you will not believe what just happened to me." And I told her the story, and she's like, "Joe, You've told much more convincing lies in the past. You've told much more believable stories. Like, if you're going to lie to me, at least try to make it somewhat convincing, not completely moronic. And I was like, no, I'm telling you. She's like, Joe, I'm not believing this story. It is so stupid. And then we're standing in line, and the dude walks up to me, and he looks at my mother and says, oh, yeah, I saw your husband over at the bakery counter. I offered him to battle, like have a belly battle with him. He declined. I was like, no shade to my mom. I don't think we could pass as similar ages. And I also don't think that I come across as someone who would be attracted to a woman.
To your mom?
To my mom in general, but if you don't know, I feel like I come off as kind of a flamboyant energy.
Wait, Joseph, you're gay?
What?
It's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know. When the hell did this happen?
Recently. I just decided. I decided recently.
Okay.
I just decided this is the path I want to take in life. So I just made up my mind. I've been weighing my options. So this is the path I've taken. But yeah, so I just thought it was very weird. And she's like, wow, you were serious. That guy actually walked up to you and said that. I was like, yep. Yes, he did.
Were you guys in Kingman?
In what?
Kingman, that's where I used to live, which are full of people like that.
No.
Huh.
Just in my weird little town.
Yeah, I don't really like meeting jovial fat guys in public. I'm not a jovial fat guy in public. I'm just a dude that hangs out and smokes cigarettes and like makes eye contact with people and then just shakes his head like, "Don't come near me." We're not friends.
That's me and my dad on an airplane. We do the thing where like we sit on like if there's 3 seats, we'll sit on either end, and then we do like occupy as much like flatten out our bodies and take as big of a stance as we can, and then just scowl at people and just look mean so no one will sit next to us.
Oh yeah, when I went on a trip with a girlfriend, she and I were on the plane, and she was a little thing. For some reason, little skinny girls liked Jeff, and I don't whatever. So we're on this trip, and I'm like, okay, whatever you do, I want you to lean on me like you're sleeping across the aisle. And she's like, what? I was like, just do it, just fucking do it. She was like, okay, and then I, leaned against her and closed my eyes. And like kept one eye sort of open, and I just watched people like look at us and smile and keep walking. And I'm like, yes. And then we had a whole row to ourselves.
Nice. Planes are the worst. It's so uncomfortable.
Planes are the worst, Joseph.
Oh wow! I didn't realize how bad of a hold these have.
How bad of a mold? Is that what you said?
Hold. Like they're very flimsy.
Oh, okay. I think if you get is that just because that's not the regular ball and joint piece, right? Like that's the trailer hitch. So it's going to be a lot looser. So I would go with the actual plate version.
Like the 1x2 kidding me?
I would assume. Is that what you ordered? A bunch of those?
Well, they were at the pick a brick wall, so I have like a small cup of them.
Okay.
Man, what a waste.
Sorry, Joe.
It happens. Well, now I'm definitely not going to have this build ready for next week. Oh, darn it.
East German judges aren't going to like that.
Huh?
East German judges aren't going to like that.
What a bummer.
I mean, I would try out a few more just to make sure, but I would think that piece has less friction on it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's all of them. I should have paid closer attention.
Okay.
Man.
That's the first time I would like that. I never really thought about that before until you showed it, right? Like,
yeah.
So anybody would have made that mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, Joseph, I do have a funny story to compliment your D&D story.
Oh, okay.
So, as some of you know, I used to play World of Warcraft religiously. Like, that's what I did with my life. And I was like, okay, whatever. I stopped because that's no way to live. And moving on with my life, yada shmada, doing all the things. I get a message from one of my friends that I used to play with quite often. He and I are, we're still friends and yada shmada. And he's like, "Hey, Jacob," because that was my name in World of Warcraft, and that's what he always called me. Even though I'd been to his home, we'd had beers together, and he knew my real name and my first wife. Regardless, it was always, "Hey, Jacob." And I was like, "Dude, that's not okay." So he's like, "Hey, I got some friends from the old days, and we're gonna play D&D." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "I'm gonna run it." Okay. And it's gonna be a good time. Nobody else has played before. Okay. Do you want to play with us? It was like good angel, bad demon on the shoulder time for Jeff, because I was like, if I say yes, I'm committing. If I say no, I'm hurting his feelings. But anyway, long story short, I'm playing in the game, and tonight they're doing a mock battle using Roll20 because none of them have ever used it before, and they don't know the mechanics of 5th edition. And Brian messaged me with, "Hey, you're going to be joining us so you can learn how to play?" And I was like, "Brian, I don't know if you know this or not, but I was playing D&D when I was like 12 and never really stopped. We still have a weekly game."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll be there, don't worry." So that's my funny story, I guess.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I wish I was playing D&D when I was 12. Still haven't played, but well, okay, that's technically not right. I played about 5 minutes with my kids, and then we realized that we had no idea what was going on. So anyway, it's one of my goals after lockdown's done, or after everything opens up.
So Flynn DeMarco of Lego Masters fame, him, I, and some of our mutual friends, Flynn was going to teach us how to play D&D so that me and my friend, we could play it locally, because her and I live together and Flynn lives on the West Coast.
Okay.
And it was humorous to watch someone try to teach someone play D&D. And walk through character. And I mean, I was probably the same way, but it was like, okay, we're going to build a character. All right, what do you want? I have no clue. Okay, well, what race do you want? I haven't looked at the races. Okay, what class? I don't know. I haven't looked at them. I was like, oh my goodness. Poor Flynn.
Are you gonna make a point to try and visit him while he's back east, or no?
He mentioned it, but that was a few months ago, and I know that he's going to New York, him and Richard, so I don't know. I'd be down to.
Yeah, you should. You guys would probably kick it off really well.
Yeah.
So for Zoom, will not be making it tonight due to, I guess he had to do a whole bunch of stuff in the churchyard, which is, I guess, all dirt. And he's feeling kind of yucky on the inside, so he gets a pass, I guess. So,
yeah.
Nobody give him a hard time. I won't. Not worth it. And
3. Did you find that wheel well, Jeff? You're muted.
yeah, I did. Now I'm just trying to find a black cheese slope. All right, one.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say how much black is there, and then I realized what you were building, and I went, oh yeah, it's Arkham Asylum. It's probably all black.
It's all light gray or dark gray with black thrown in, and it's just
yeah.
Why do I have to enjoy Batman? Damnable.
Somewhere there's someone yelling, "Why do I enjoy Friends so much? Damn pastel colors."
But those Batman sets look pretty sharp, I gotta say. Even the only one that didn't look good was the Bat motorcycle ones, and that's a pass for me automatically. but like everything else looked really good. The Batcave looks great. The Batmobile looks good. I'm like 75% on board with buying the Technic Batmobile. Like that's kind of what I thought of it. And I hate Technic.
Yeah, I don't think Lego, other than using the actual bikes that they've already got made, like brick building bikes to me is just a waste of time for Lego because they're never good.
Yeah, I agree and disagree. There's been a couple that are pretty good. The super bikes from the original Agents line, the Spidey motorcycle that could flip down and become a hover bike was pretty good.
Okay.
But those are also really simple too. It's not,
Yeah.
like you see the bike in the movie trailer because it's featured pretty, readily, and it's like, why didn't they just give him a black like frame motorcycle? Like seriously,
Mhm.
that looks like Garbo. But I'm sure there was a piece count they had to meet, and I'm sure there was,
Oh, yeah.
somebody telling the guy, well, you got to use these new pieces in this motorcycle build. It'll be great. Meanwhile, the guy's like, okay.
Does anyone know how to wipe a print off of a piece?
Yes.
What do you use, nail polish remover?
Brasso.
Brasso, or I've heard an eraser from the end of a pencil.
The eraser doesn't work anymore. On the older stuff, yes, but on the newer stuff, no.
Oh, no? Okay.
Brasso?
Yeah.
Brasso.
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 It's
So like
a
a
metal
cleaner?
cleaner. Yeah, it's like a metal polisher.
Oh.
So, like, if you had people in the military or whatever and they had metals, that's what they would use to clean off the metals. It works really well. You just have to actually follow the instructions on how to use it. Like, don't put it on there and be like, okay, because that's not how it works.
Because I'm trying to build the character I'm building is a little bit busty, so I'm trying to get any magenta piece that could kind of work. And right now I have these like troll head things.
That works.
So let's do something like that.
That's weird.
So we'll see.
Well,
So I
what
lost
else
one
would
of
you use
the.
troll heads
Damn,
for?
I lost one of the pieces that I was working. I lost the front grill. Oh, found it. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Yay.
This like reminds me of my dad and I sitting at the table Christmas morning, and we're both trying to build the 1991 police station, and it's just not going well, like at all. Just like being frustrated as much as we can, questioning our existence, why we're related, what did you do?
Oh my goodness.
My dad, for once, actually said, "I really hate that box of wine," and I was like, Nothing? Nobody? All right.
I chuckled.
I giggled.
It's just courtesy laughs. Assholes.
I can't really work on anything else for this build until that order comes in on Tuesday.
So what are you going to do until then?
I don't know.
All right.
No, because like right now I have the little guys, but I can only build their right legs. The left leg I don't have the parts for, and I don't have the piece to build the hip connection. I can't attach the other leg or her feet. That's a bit annoying. I guess I could try to build the torso, but the torso that I have designed, I think, is ugly. So.
Oh, I have to take a mid-station break 1 minute. So we're kind of sponsored tonight. I forgot to mention this.
Oh.
This is okay. Breaking news. I don't know where I got the message from. Now I can't remember. Fantastic. Nope. Thanks, honey. Always depend on your support. And oh crap! I'm really bad at this. It's fine. We're fine. I do know, however, if you need to shave your balls or any of your other parts of your body, I highly recommend Shave My Balls products. There you go.
Is that our sponsor?
No, well, that's the official Tons of Fun sponsor. I have links. I just haven't used them. All right, so let's see what we got. So BBG, the Bearded Builders Guild, which Jeff is part of. I earned my tenacity, and I was able to do it. They are opening up their first custom printing store, so like a place like Eclipse Graphics, but not. They do their own printing, etc. And the BBG Forge is opening this Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and you can start putting your orders into bbgforge.com, and you'll be able to get a bunch of custom printed stuff. I know that Cody was saying that like they always get requests from Mormons and Mormon missionaries and like the Book of Mormon and stuff like that. So if that floats your boat, go for it. There's also a whole bunch of other stuff. They've done some really good work. They sold out when they were at Brick Fair. They had a whole bunch of custom pieces they made with printing, molded, and everything else, and the prices are reasonable. It's good quality stuff. It's ABS plastic. Check them out if you can. Right.
So I have something they've printed, so I'll go grab it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Please don't let me crap, Joseph. Just don't come back with this melted thing and be like, "This is what they did." Why? Because that's what. Oh, hey, buddy.
I'm trying to find a way to show it off because it's small, so I'm covering most of it with my hands.
All right, I'm gonna get you to full page. How's that?
You're gonna have to pull it back a bit.
Yeah.
A little further.
Put your ham hock behind it.
There you go.
There you go. So there you go. So that's a very detailed piece for such a thing that is so small.
Was that Bionicle mask?
No, it's their logo.
It's our logo. It's our logo. It's a Lego minifigure head with a beard on it.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
And you can I'm doing just for testing's sake, a light scratch with my fingernail. It's not coming off.
There you go.
I would say, at least in my opinion, it can withstand your average wear.
Did you purchase that, Joseph, or was it gifted to you by Cody and all those guys?
I think it was gifted. It was one of those for at Brick Fair people leave little tchotchkes on your build.
Oh, I've never had that happen before. It must be nice.
Did they do that at Brick Rodeo?
Yeah, they didn't do it to mine though.
Well, I missed the one from who was it? Jen Stewart. She had little Lego Masters trophies, and they were so cute. I didn't get one. I'll see if I got a really cute one. I'll see if I can find it.
All right. This is incredibly frustrating.
There were a few going around Brick Fair. I did not get all of them, but I got the Bearded Builders Guild file. Some guy was putting out rats.
Yeah, that's their new rats that they've been releasing.
Yeah, little Lego rats. And then this guy, he was doing. I don't think they were built for each builder in mind, but he had a bunch of them, and then would pick one that matched your build's color scheme. So I got a little vampire 1x1 dude.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's very cute. So I quite like him.
Speaking of little tchotchkes that you were talking about earlier, Don got one.
Nice.
Yeah, Don got one from holy crap.
From
Moto. From
Yeah.
Moto. Yeah, for his mechs that Don, brought with him to Brick Rodeo, which kind of made him happy, and he got a little full of himself, and then we all just gave him hell afterwards, because that's what you do. I was very happy for him. It's so stupid. I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, anybody have anything good to report on, Lego wise, Lego news, or just good things happening in your life right now?
That Titanic ship. That's kind of cool. Oh, you don't like it?
Well, okay, Joseph. Why am I going to like it? What part of me is oh man, just what I've always wanted?
No, but I understand that. But from that's a cool set. It's big. It has it comes apart in two. It has a pseudo interior.
Instead of the real one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I think they found out that the real one actually split in 3. They've discovered that recently.
That's not true.
What do you mean that's not true?
Emily, the Titanic, it's split into 2 parts, right? Not 3? She's the one that told me about Amelia Earhart and coconuts, so she can't be wrong.
I'm telling you,
I beg to differ.
they found like the 3rd chunk of it.
We're talking about the Titanic because Lego just released a big, like, Titanic. Yeah, right? Like, not only is that ship not a winner, it didn't even complete its maiden voyage. Who wants to buy something that's a monument to failure?
It's iconic.
That's it? That's your argument?
It's iconic.
It's iconic at being so badly designed. They didn't even have enough lifeboats. The self-sealing, the whole sections didn't go all the way up to the deck, so that's part of why it flooded so bad.
I mean, it wasn't Ghostbusters 2. Better late than never.
That's fair. That's fair.
In 2005, they oh wait. Oh, okay. It broke in 2, and then when it hit the bottom, it split in 3.
yeah, okay.
That's not what you said.
I know. Okay, I was just okay. The other day, actually 2 days ago, it was Wednesday. Well, it's actually technically Thursday morning. It was like 12:30, and I was like, I'm going to make the great decision to watch Titanic on Netflix. So that kept me up until like 3 a.m. And but then
okay, good. Still going. Okay,
I was like looking up like production facts, and one of the things it said, it's like, oh, it was discovered that the Titanic split into 3 pieces. So I was like, I just took that verbatim. So I guess what it was because it like did the 2 where it was like held on by like the bit, and then it drug itself, and then when it went under, it split, and then 3.
Joseph Sawada, if you buy the Titanic, I will build you a custom iceberg and send it to you.
I'm not buying the Titanic.
What, you don't want to spend $700 on a boat that didn't even complete its maiden voyage?
I don't want to spend $700 on most Lego sets.
Is that why you still want the UCS Millennium Falcon?
I do. It's the one that I want. I do really want that.
I was talking to somebody about that the other day, about Lego in general, and being like, I would never pay $700 or whatever, but like, I paid $800 kind of for the Ghostbuster Firehouse. That doesn't count. It's the Ghostbuster Firehouse fighting. But secondly, the UCS Falcon would be something that I would go for. In all honesty, if I could. I mean, it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. It's awesome. I wanted the original when the original one was still available, like in stores. I didn't get it because I was like too young, so it's like there's no way I was going to be able to save $500 before I would spend it all. I never got it, and I really, really want it. But it's one of those things where it's like I spend a lot on the Lego hobby already. $800, that's a lot of money. And that's a lot of money to drop on. And this is no shame to anyone who ever spends however much money they want on their hobby. I've spent insane amounts of money on things that people would think are really stupid. And I totally get it, that if something means something to you, the price tag, it could be whatever. Yeah. I get that. But $800 is a lot of money. And I think if I ever had like $800 to spend on Lego, I would be like, do I need this? Do I need it? No. Do I want to spend $800? Is it worth $800 to me? Right now, I think it is, but I don't know if I would believe it myself when I had that money in my hand.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is that like, one in the hand is two in the bush or whatever. But like, it's really cool. Like, I put the Ghostbuster Firehouse back 4 times because I was like, if I spent this much, then whatever. And I was just really like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? Honestly, what do I do? Like, this is a one-time opportunity. and when I went for it, I was like, cool. So I went for it and I got it and yada schmata, right?
Hey, Moto, how are you?
Oh, hey, Mike, how's it going, man?
Hey, Bodo.
So all that nonsense happened, and it was just like, okay, and I don't think that I would do it again. If I'm
Do you
being
regret
honest.
buying it though? Like,
No, I don't regret buying it.
Okay,
I regret
good.
the fact that it took that long to get.
yeah,
I really wish I would have bought it when it was in stores and not, having this crazy aftermarket price of, just sell a kidney.
Yep.
yeah.
I spent a ton of money, probably like 10 years ago, buying Final Fantasy action figures, of Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy action figures. And it's one of those things where like I spent a lot of money on those. The big ones are like $200, $300 a pop. They're super cool. They're like beautifully molded and everything, but I'm like, they sit in boxes.
The aftermarket on those things are a 50% increase in return, by the way.
The Final Fantasy ones, I haven't seen. They're very hit or miss. I found for the Final Fantasy 13 one specifically.
Oh, 13?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, I know people I know Final Fantasy 13 is the worst Final Fantasy in the world. I've been told 800 times over.
It's not. It's just
That's
not.
effectively wrong. Final Fantasy 2 is.
It was I love it so much, and it has like a really soft spot in my heart because it was the first one that I ever played, and I like know people who worked on it, so it means a lot to me.
Makes sense.
Who do you know
That's
that,
totally
that
fair.
worked on it?
I know one of the voice actresses who was on it.
That's
So
awesome.
we became acquaintances because when I was in college, one of my professors always noted that no matter what the theme of an essay was, whatever I felt like writing is what I would write about, and then I would make it work. So the theme, we had to write a paper on a controversial opinion, and I was like, I want to write and I want to interview the voice actress. I'm like, so I will make it work where I'm going to get an interview with this voice actress. And so that's how we got to know each other. We're not friends. Like, friends is a strong term. Like, we're Facebook buddies and we wish each other happy birthday. That's the extent of our relationship.
Hell, Lexi and I don't even do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the essay, my professor was like, "Joe, this is the weirdest." She's like, "This is the weirdest paper I've ever received. I totally believe it, and I totally vibe with it, but it is weird. Like, why did you come up with this, like, prompt? It was really strange." And what it was is unfair or like non-consistent treatment or non-consistent insurance payouts on certain medical issues. That's what it was.
That was the topic that it was supposed to be?
No, that's what I picked. It was supposed to be controversial topics, and I was saying how, because this she's a voice actress and she does some acting work, and she has alopecia areata, so her hair falls out. And I wrote how that as a medical condition, because a lot of her big things is wigs and teaching women or men. Most of her, she's a woman, so she's mostly speaking to women about like there's no shame in having to wear wigs and hair pieces, but it is expensive. And my thought was, why is it that certain treatments get cosmetic insurance will pay for cosmetic work while others don't? And that was kind of what my argument was, where if you have one disease or one ailment or one autoimmune disorder, insurance will pay to heal you and then help you with what may impede you mentally. You want to like your physical state back, while other ones don't. That's what I was kind of talking about. And kind of what the conclusion I came up with was, if it's life-threatening, then the insurance seems to be more willing to put money into your cosmetic care if it is a autoimmune disorder that mostly affects you in a non-life-threatening way. That's kind of what I was chatting about.
Okay.
A very weird thing to talk about.
That's a Joseph Zawada answer if I ever heard one.
What do I want to talk about?
I mean, no, it's.
My sister told me recently, my sister's currently in college, and she was telling me that whenever she writes an essay, she's like, what would Joe write about? What's something weird? Because she's like, Joe always comes up with something weird to write about, something strange.
Oh, hey, Joseph, I have a question for you. I have not heard about a person from you for a very long time.
Sure.
How is your crafty friend doing?
She's good. She's good.
I'll be right back. You gotta tell me, you gotta give me an update.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a friend who has a YouTube channel, and I was telling Jeff about it. Joseph Stories wind as a coiled snake around a dying star. What does that mean? That is so. Moto, I'm not an intellectual. I went to public school. Stories wind as a coiled snake around a dying star.
I have to admit, I'm not really sure what he means by that either.
I mean, it sounds beautiful. I just don't know what it means. Moto, I will say I was sad that you didn't make it to Brick Fair, Virginia. I know that you're on the other side of the country, and so that's a bit of a hike. But I was sad. I was a bit bummed that you didn't make it out. But maybe one time we'll be able to go to a convention and say hello in person.
Do you ever go to any conventions on the East Coast or on the West Coast, Joseph?
I went to BrickCon in Seattle.
Okay.
I had a horrible time.
Oh, really? I've heard that's like one of the best ones.
It is. So to be fair, I want to try it again. Okay. To those of you who know kind of how I joined the Lego community, I came in as like learning under another builder, and they kind of showed me the ropes and they taught me how to build at a standard that's higher than someone who like it's their first mock, because they really helped me and held my hand and showed me like more advanced techniques. And when I joined the community, at every convention I just stuck by them and I shadowed them, and whenever they were like, oh, we're going to go hang out with our friends, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go too, because I didn't know anyone. Yeah. And that was the first show I went to where they weren't there. Oh, okay. No, they were there. They were there, but I got the distinct vibe that it was kind of like, these are our friends. Mm-hmm. You need to make your friends.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But it was it was a stark difference, because now I was on the other side of the country, and I knew no one in the community. The only people I knew were those two and their friends in their community. So it was a stark change. I felt kind of lonely. So luckily I have a cousin who lives in Seattle. So I made one round around BrickCon. I went to like one panel, one game. And then I was like, well, I don't know anyone. I tried to start like 3 conversations and they didn't really go anywhere. So I'm just going to hang out with my cousin and eat at cheap sushi restaurants. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I had a similar, well, I won't say a similar experience. At Brickworld Chicago, I went like back in maybe 2017, maybe earlier. Can't remember. But it was me and a few other people that I knew were there. I mean, Dave Coutis, I don't know if you've ever seen Dave K, but he was there as well. But I mean, he was there with his wife, and I was there just as like by myself type thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a lot of people to hang around with, and I didn't find it that fun of a show.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't all that social. I was just kind of wandering around. And I mean, even like the last time it was 2017. I went to Brick Fair, Virginia,
Mhm.
and it was very similar. It was like three or four of us that were there that knew each other, and if two people walked away, then you're kind of like, okay, now who the hell am I going to talk to, right? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
So
All right, Joseph. Hit me.
you already
Um,
finished the story. You're too late, Jeff.
yeah, I've already told it. I can't tell it again. We don't want to bore the audience. We can't give them the same content twice.
Oh.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just joshing. There's really not much to update. It's much less of a spectacle. She did a Q&A recently. That's pretty much it. She did a Q&A.
What were some of the questions and answers?
My favorite was, have you ever snuck out of the house? And the answer made me laugh. It was a good one.
What was the answer?
She was like, yeah, I have. She was like, one time, my brother and I, we snuck out, but before we went and we told our mom that we were going to be leaving, and then that night we climbed out my window and ran around the neighborhood. I'm like, girl, that's not sneaking out.
Oh.
That's not sneaking out. But whatever. That was a good one. Did you guys ever sneak out? I never snuck out.
All the time.
I was not a sneak out kid.
I lived on a farm in the country. Where the hell was I going to go?
I didn't have friends. Where was I going to go?
My Nintendo was at home. What was I going to do?
Yeah, I was. This is kind of interesting. I saw there's this YouTuber that I like. Her name is, most of you would not care. Her name is Mina Lee. And she does lots of fashion analysis of TV shows and stuff like that. And
why would you think that none of us would appreciate that?
I meant more the audience.
Well, I'm just saying, why would you think that any of us would
I don't know, because I don't think most Lego fans would want to have a 1 hour conversation about the fashion of the early 2000s hit show Totally Spies.
So, Joseph, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have tons of fun devoted to to the hit show Totally Spies.
Totally, that's awesome.
Yep. It's already in the books.
There's actually is interesting discourse about that show. You have
Okay.
a good night, Moto. Have a good night.
Later, Moto. It's good to see you, buddy. Okay, so now I'm intrigued.
About this YouTube channel?
No. About the discourse with Totally Spies.
Oh, okay. Well, first I'll finish the Mina Lee story. So she talks a lot about fashion, and one of the things she talked about was teen drama shows that are on air right now, like Riverdale, the new Gossip Girl reboot, all those kind of shows, and how she kind of finds them uncomfortable because they're glamorizing very adult behavior on teenagers. If you've watched those shows, you kind of understand what she's talking about. And I was reading the comments, and one of the things that someone said is, and I really resonated it. She said, I'm 23. I watched Riverdale, and I felt after watching Riverdale that my high school experience was boring. And I was like, me too. I watched that show. I only watched season 1 because it went downhill. I was like, I wasn't sneaking out. I wasn't sleeping around in high school. I wasn't doing drugs. I wasn't drinking or partying. And I'm like, am I a loser?
Well, and as you're saying that, I'm thinking, what does that say to all the kids that are all the high school students that now are like, oh, this is what we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah,
so
I was kind of like, I mean, I'm in my mid. I'm like, I know that of course, morality is very. I won't get into what you should do, what is sin, bad behaviors. I won't get into all of that because everyone has very different opinions on it. But I guess in my upbringing, those weren't things that I would have considered, and I'm like, is that the cool experience? Was I missing out on life experiences? I felt kind of left out. I FOMO. I felt kind of oh, I just went home and played on my Nintendo and that's it, and read books. That's what I did. I wasn't doing body shots. Was my life. But the Totally Spies thing,
I feel
it's kind
personally
of...
attacked.
Huh?
I feel personally attacked.
Why?
Because I was sneaking out and doing drugs and drinking.
Were you doing body shots?
Every once in a while, and then it was always weird the next day at high school when I would see said teacher.
Bruh!
Nice.
Oh my goodness. But the Totally Spies discourse, it's kind of similar to the kind of like Wonder Woman discourse, where a lot of it is like, people say that like with like all the tying and like S&M, like whip and her lasso, all that kind of stuff. Because I've seen like, I'm not a huge like Wonder Woman fan or a superhero fan, but I've seen where people will talk about how her character design and her attacks are very like sexualized in nature. And in Totally Spies, there's also a lot of that.
Well, yeah, but it's actually on record that that's part of how Wonder Woman came to be.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah. Like that part's like literally in comic book history. So
oh, there you go. So
that the creator was in a polyamorous relationship. Still was up until the day he died. Because he based the women that he was with on Wonder Woman. Yeah.
But yeah, so people say that there's kind of similarities to like Totally Spies, because like there's lots of like they're tied up, they're always captured, they're always like strung up and like that kind of thing. So
okay, so here's the thing about this that I've noticed in like late 90s, early 2000s cartoons. So Batman Beyond is on HBO Max, and I've been watching episodes of it because I like Batman. And Batman Beyond is about Terry McGinnis, who's stepping into the role as Batman. There's not an episode where he's like not investigating something, and then somebody from behind comes up and just beats the shit out of him. Like, there's always that time, and he's always tied up for some reason in a suit that enhances his strength by like 10. Like by the multiples of 10. But he's always tied up, and like he's always like getting beat up, sometimes by a woman, sometimes by a dude. And like it just goes to the old trope of, if Batman's knocked out, why is his mask still on? Why aren't you like selfieing with like that and being like, click, and no more Batman?
Yeah.
I'm out.
I saw, what was it? I don't know if it was a game. I don't know what it was, but it was a clip of like the Joker. He had finally captured Batman, and like one of his goons or someone ripped off Batman's mask. He's like, it's Bruce Wayne. And the Joker's like, are you kidding me? You just ruined the whole. He's like, I never took off the mask. Like, that was part of the fun. The fun is that he's like, I could have done it. I could have taken off the mask, but I didn't want to know. That was part of the game. That was part of like the fun experience of it, and you just ruined it.
That was Harley Quinn. That was the first season of Harley Quinn's the season finale where Scarecrow ripped the mask off.
Yeah.
And the Joker was like, what the hell? And then shot him.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that part. The TikTok I saw didn't include that.
The Joker shot him and then put the mask back on Bruce and was like, sorry about that. You know, don't worry, I don't care. And it's like, huh.
It is kind of interesting. The Joker's a very interesting character.
The Joker is a sociopath.
Yes.
Yes.
He's interesting.
There's this comic simply called Joker. It came out in the early 2000s, and the story is told from the point of view of one of Joker's henchmen. And it is super awesome. Like, yep, gotta go feed those goddamn hyenas. This'll be fun. And like the next clip is literally him like running for his life, but it's not like comic-y funny. It's like, holy shit, that guy's gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, because of what he's got to do and everything else. And it's really dark and it's really gruesome. And like, it's just bad all around. And then I think of like the other writers that have given treatments to Joker, Kevin Smith, Neil Adams, even Denny O'Neil. And it's like, I don't think any of you have this. Like, Frank Miller, who wrote The Dark Knight, Returns and, made Batman dark again in the early 80s. I think that was the closest representation of what I would want to see in a film with Joker. Like, megalomaniac, does not give a shit about anybody. Like, there's no Harley to distract, or there's none of that. It's I'm going to be a menace, you know, and that's anyway.
I just saw Dave's comment in chat to say that I could have tipped over cows if I snuck out of the house.
I mean, have you
If that
ever
were
tipped
something
over
you
a
could
cow?
do. It's not something you can actually do.
Yeah, it is.
It is actually a misnomer.
You can tip over a cow, Jeff.
Really?
Yes.
You've done it?
Yes.
Really? Because, you know, they actually sleep for about an hour a day, so...
That's the thing. You have to be in the fields when they're getting ready to sleep. There was a dairy farm in Kingman, and me and my buddies would go down there because we were bored and it was a country town and we had nothing else better to do with our lives. This is while we were sneaking out and not doing body shots, Joseph, just so you know. And there was cows that would be sleeping, and like, you know, we mastered the approach of walking up slowly to the cow, and then the three of us would just shoulder the son of a bitch, and like, you know, he'd fall down, or she would fall down, or whatever, and then we'd hightail it.
Mm-hmm.
So the following week that we did that for like the 5th and like 9th, I don't know how many times we've done it up until then, but like there was a guy from 4-H in and was like, "This is the danger of tipping a cow," and he looked at me and my asshole friends. Like, if you do this, you could break their ribs and you could cause them to die, and we miss out on about $900 worth of beef and money. And I was like, oh shit, I guess we're not doing that anymore. So yeah, we didn't do that anymore.
What a buzzkill.
Yeah, right? Like, consequences to my actions. I'm 16. I do what I want.
Speaking of farm animals, today I went to a friend of my dad's house, and he
I really
is
thought that you were gonna like bring up your like latest grinder match, and I was like, okay.
We went to a house, and he has goats. I guess he's like a well-known goat breeder, and he ships goats all around the country. And first, I don't think I've ever seen a goat in person. I was like, wow, that's a goat. They have like the little like slit eye, very cool. They were loud. And then he was like, oh, here's the like our male goat, like the breeder goat. And I was like, oh, he's like, do not pet it. And I was like, why? And he said, the I guess the females are in heat, and he's been perfuming himself. I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, he pees all over his head to attract a mate. He's like, that's why his head is yellow. I was like, oh, because it's like it was like he had like a wet face because he had been peeing on himself to attract a lady.
I don't even want to know how that's possible, but okay.
I don't know, but and then he was like, I guess that's the same thing with deer. Their necks, like their necks will swell up really big because I guess to like a lady deer that's sexy, like a big neck. And he's like, if you look at the collar's supposed to be down here, but his neck was so swollen it was like pushed all the way up because he had like this big fat neck.
I don't know, man. Have you guys ever seen a donkey schlong?
No.
So we went to this
Isn't that a
place.
song?
It might be. We went to this place in Oatman, and Oatman has free roaming donkeys in the little ghost town, and that's how they get the tourists. Alyssa, you really did. And like Emily and I got behind a donkey, and like, holy crap, man! Like it was as long as my arm.
Oh, that kind of schlong. Okay, now I
Hi,
understand.
Matt.
Bye, Matt. Joseph needs to go cow tipping. There's my lady leg. Lady leg. I wish that came in black. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Kind of annoying. But maybe I can like put something over it to cover. I don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just like really odd, and like I kept on pointing it out to Emily, and she was like, "Yeah, I see it." And I'm like, "Yeah," because I'm 7. But, man, good times. No, Emily, come over here and tell the story better then.
You didn't know what it was.
Okay, well, you gotta come over here and speak into the microphone, otherwise they can't hear you. Well, now they all know you're not wearing a bra.
Well, that's too bad they don't have to see.
Okay.
But you just said we couldn't hear her, and then you say,
Look, Jeff.
Yeah, I didn't hear it until you
You're
said
good.
it.
Exactly.
Poor Emily.
I know she's gotta live with me. And I had dairy tonight.
Woman has a patience of a saint.
Oh, this is kind of interesting. So when I was at Brick Fair, I was going through. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I know it's a cheap way to get brick. I cannot go through bulk bins. I absolutely hate it.
Why?
I hate it. I'm like, I would rather spend 3 cents more on a part than dig through a bulk bin. I detest it. It's my least favorite thing to do.
Okay.
But my mother, she wanted to build a custom brick badge because I had like designed mine to look all fancy. And she's like, well, I want a fancy brick badge. I feel left out. So I was like, fine, I guess we're going to go and like build you a brick badge. So we had to go to the bulk bins. And I found these propellers. Where'd they go? This propeller right here.
That's a cool propeller.
Huh?
That's a cool propeller.
Yeah, it's a cool propeller. And my mom pulled it out, and she's like, "Oh, does this propeller work too?" And I looked at it. I'm like, "Man," I was like, "This isn't Lego."
Yeah,
I was like, it is. I didn't know at the time. But I'm like, it feels different. It feels like a different plastic. It doesn't say Lego on it. I'm like, man, this is such a nicer mold though. I'm like, this mold is so much nicer. My mom's like, there's like 30 of them in here. They're Lego. I'm like, I really don't think they are. I'm like, they don't feel like it. So I went to like the lady next to me. I'm like, hey, feel this. Is this Lego? She's like, nope, that's not Lego. It doesn't feel like Lego. That's not Lego. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I like that mold more. I'm just going to get them. And then I went home, and then I was sorting through my bins, and I discovered that I have one in brown. And I was like, wait, I know what set this from, and this is a real Lego piece.
Yeah.
From the Indiana Jones plane. From Indiana Jones 4 and the Crystal Skull. It came with a plane that goes to South America. The propellers or props or whatever are the ones from... Anyway.
Yeah, see, I knew it from, what is it called?
That Lego set.
One of the adventure sets. So this was my mom's brick badge. It's Unikitty, Dreaming of Sweets.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a fancy brick badge.
Yeah, I
Well,
like
you
my
will.
brick badges.
Wait, you didn't get one at Brick Rodeo?
Oh, I did, but I mean, I don't have a fancy built one like Joseph Dorada and his mom apparently. And I guess I could like build it, but like on the other hand, yeah, you know.
I have my box of brick badges. So most people, or I don't know if most, but a lot of people will continually stack their brick badges with all the events. I don't do that personally. I like all of my brick badges to be like, here is what I got at this convention. That's it. So I have like my BrickCon 2014, the convention that I was there for like 5 minutes. I have this one here. This one I regret.
What?
This was Brick Fair, New Jersey.
Ugh, Jersey.
And so if you see, that's a Louis Vuitton print. This was the one that was actually on my mom's brick badge.
Okay.
Mine was the Nintendo logo. And I really liked it. And then one of my friends in the community who collects brick badge pieces, that was like his thing, is he just loved brick badges. He was like, can I have that? And I was like, oh, sure. And he had just given me a present. He had just given me, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere back there. This like custom chrome gold Triforce. And I was like, sure, yeah, you can have this. Then he left the community and he's like, got rid of all of his Lego. And I'm like, I want that. I want that back.
Why did he leave the community?
Financial reasons. He was just like, I can't afford it. So I have to sell. He was moving. Lots of changes in life. He's like, so I just gotta sell everything.
That's a bummer when that happens.
Yeah, this was 2015.
Joseph, I feel really small compared to your amount of brick badges that you have.
Well, you just started. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, this is a good one, y'all. This is a good one. I'll hide this brick and I'll save it for last.
Okay.
So this is Brick Fair, Virginia, 2019. I have a little Detective Pikachu. These two animals were my custom printed tiles. They're the Divine Beasts from Breath of the Wild. I wanted to get all 4, and then they changed the size of the custom printed tiles. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was so bummed.
They're 2
so
by
then
3s
I
now,
got-
aren't they?
And I got a little Arcticuno, my lug, and then I got like this 2-high link, a little Gayful badge because it was a Gayful meetup. And then this is, should I show this?
Yeah.
It's an inside joke between, it's an inside joke. And I went to a custom brick engraver. I said, hi, what is your policy on like inappropriate verbiage?
Love it.
And they're like, we don't allow swearing. I was like, all right, can I have a brick that says incest queen?
Good night, everybody.
And, and I gifted it to someone. And then for the memory, I made one for myself. So
Nice.
Here you go, friend of mine, incest queen. Yeah,
It's-
we're
so
not friends
it's like a
anymore.
funny
See you
thing.
later.
let's see, this was Brick Fair, Virginia, 2016. They did tan that year. I didn't like the tan. We have like the standard one, a little monkey emoji, Prince of Hyrule. I don't know why I had that. Senpai in the streets, hentai in the sheets. I thought that was so funny. I saw it on a poster. I was like, I need that. I love Kevin Hinkle. My dad always calls me Padawan. So he custom printed me a little Padawan one. This was my mom's. She wanted a U.S. Marine Corps Lego. I don't know. And just never got it from my brick badge. And then What the Duff is something that me and my sister say to each other. Instead of like dropping F-bombs, we'll say like, what the duff? I don't know why. I don't know why we say it. It makes no sense. But it is what it is.
You guys are like the goddamn Brady Bunch.
We were kind of raised in that life. This one, I don't know where my most recent one is. This was Brick Fair, Virginia, 2018. This was in the height of me loving RuPaul's Drag Race. So I have Trixie and Katya as my brick custom tiles, and Katya is eating Trixie's hair. And then I have, come on, Brick Fair, let's get sickening, which was the entry lines of one of the contestants on the show. Then
Joseph, I would like to point out that you said when you were a fan of RuPaul's Drag Show, like that ended
I haven't watched the last few seasons.
yet.
No, I don't plan to.
Really?
Yeah, I only watch All Stars now. I only watch All Stars. Then, so these were from Eclipse Graphics. I got like the Zelda stained glass, a Triforce, and then they didn't have another Zelda one, so I got this because I thought it was cute and I didn't know what it was. And then I found out it's an Overwatch thing. And then all the sages from Zelda.
You know who drew those for Eclipse Graphics, don't you?
I do. Mr. Kevin.
Are we in the club? Are we the only ones that know this, Joseph?
I thought that was public information.
I don't know if it is. I know that he's not doing it anymore, which
Okay,
is it's starting to show on Richter's end. But besides that,
Oh, I also got one of these. This must have fallen off. This was given to me by Simon Liu.
oh, you son of a bitch! It's a little mouser droid.
Is that what it is?
It's whatever. It's cool though.
Yeah, Simon is such a genius. Simon also, here's another thing that Simon gave to me.
That's
This
good.
Should I tell this story?
You should tell this story.
Okay. If someone who is affected by this wants one, let me know. So, if you recall, people at Brick Fair will pass out little goodies if they like your build. I was in a collab, and someone dropped off a bunch of these. They're like mech suit knights.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and they were holding pizzas or they had swords. So here's like a sword one. This one must have had a pizza. Oh no, this one had a shield, and then some had pizzas. I can't find a pizza one. But there was a few of them scattered across. It was like a 30-foot long collaboration. I immediately looked at them. I'm like, oh, that is Simon Liu. That is Simon Liu's work. Simon Liu builds. If you don't know, I'm surprised. He builds great little mechs. He loves doing funky little builds that are goofy. So
Hey, Nerd Brick, what's going on, dude? Glad you're here.
So a bunch of knights totally makes sense for him, and he's very well known for giving away builds and dropping them off and building cute little things with a couple parts that are genius and passing them out. So they're all over this build, and I'm in this collaboration, and some of the members were like livid, and they were like, "This is really disrespectful that someone like touched our build and dropped these off." Which that's a thing that I've heard where people don't like the goodies because it requires you to touch a build.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I'm going to interrupt you.
Sure.
So, Joseph, you know me.
Yes, you do.
I was at Brick Rodeo. We were next to Mark and Steven, right?
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't really a fan of. Oh, hey, Rick. I wasn't really a fan of things. But then I got to go to Mark, and I was like, okay. And they've got their big fuck off multi-headed dragon thing.
Yeah.
And, like, smoke's coming out, and it's all lit up.
It's very cool.
We're just staring at it like, well, okay. And Steven goes away, and I had purchased a poly bag of the Atlantis, like a little mini drone from Atlantis. Like, so I put it on the mock, and like, Steven did this at me. And I was like, okay. And Mark was like, yeah, because, and like, after a few days, like, whenever they were being interviewed by anybody, like, it would move back to our table. And then if you notice in like the Beyond the Brick video, or like anytime they were interviewed, you'd see this fat, chubby hand placing it back behind one of the serpents.
So, funny story. Mark and Steven were the ones who were like, why did they put these on our build?
Nice.
Oh, that is awesome.
Is that my camera that's doing that? Or is
Yeah.
That
that...
was weird. It was just like a little spot in your face.
Yeah.
Is it reflecting the light weird? Move it a bit.
Did you spit maybe when you laughed?
Oh,
and
yeah,
hit
maybe
the
you spit.
camera?
Yeah.
No, because it's not moving. It's on the lens.
Try to
Yeah,
wipe
it's on
it.
the lens. It's,
Oh, there it
is.
There you go. There.
All right. So, yeah, it was Mark and Steven who were like, we don't like this. And then I was like, I think it was... So
They're
then
never going to be guests on this show, by the way. Anyway.
So then, Mark and Steven, if you want them, just shoot me a DM. But it was a lot of. It wasn't just Mark. It was a bunch. They're like, I don't really like that, and it's a greater conversation of should you be touching builds at Brick Fair, blah 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 blah. And then someone, it was not Mark or Steven, I know that. They're like, I think that's Simon's, and if it's Simon's, it's okay. And I'm like, oh.
What?
So if it's a famous builder, they're allowed to touch your build. If it's not a famous builder, it's a problem. So then we found out that they were Simon. And I went to Simon. I'm like, Simon, those are yours, right? He was denying it. I'm like, Simon, they're yours. He's like, of course they're mine. Who else would they be? So I took all of them.
I would like 5.
I don't have 5. There aren't that many.
I would like 1. You offered. You
to
said.
the people who they were supposed to go
You
to.
don't fucking watch my channel?
So yeah, I will actually. If none of them reach out, next time I see you, I'll bring you one. I didn't. Okay, to be clear, I did not take all of them. I took.
Look at him backpedal.
I took 4.
His giant story of how he scooped him up like an eagle. Going
How
into the
many
kill.
were there? 5?
No, there were probably like 10.
Joseph Sawada.
Okay, like because I didn't want to take all. I felt bad.
Hey, those people are like, he touching my meal and putting these cool things on it. Who cares? Like, screw them. Like, take
Well,
it.
mind you, I was young when I did this. I was young.
You
Howie's
still are young.
Howie's got your back. He's like, pay the host.
All right, so here's what I'm saying. The only person that I ever got angry with for touching my build is someone that is kind of big in the community but doesn't build and is just there at everything. And his
I know who
name
you're talking
rhymes
about.
with Rabner.
Oh,
And he goes to every
pictures.
convention.
He took pictures of my Ice Planet build, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Abner! Why is he touching my shit? Why isn't he asking me?" Those were the thoughts that went through my head, and like, I was pretty pissed off about it. And the funny thing about Abner is, I'm gonna get so much hell for this from everybody in the community, and I feel bad about it.
Abner is beloved. Be careful.
He is.
Abner is very much someone that seeks out the bright spot and hangs around the bright spot. And that's all I'm going to say.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not gonna say what it means.
Okay, all right. I like Abner. Every time I play with Abner, he's always very nice to me.
It means he's Mothman.
I love Mothman.
Thanks, Lexi.
I
You're
love a
welcome.
Moth. I love a Moth.
Have you guys ever seen the Richard Gere Mothman movie?
Oh, at some point probably, but
Oh, but you just
Not
said you
anytime.
love Mothman, Joseph.
I was joking. I know nothing about Mothman.
how dare you? I'm
Uh,
hurt.
I'm sorry.
I'm not really hurt.
You just crushed all of my dreams at once.
Speaking of touching builds, I recently did a it wasn't a Lego, it wasn't like Brick Fair, it was like a small local show. I tell you what, it wasn't the children who were touching the builds, it was their parents.
Yep.
The parents love to touch because in their mind, they're like, it's a toy. My child can break the toy. My child can't be trusted, but I'm an adult. I can touch it. No, you can't. So like at my show, there were a couple kids who were real young. It's normally real young kids or adults. A couple real young kids did touch things. Like when I was having a conversation, they would like point and they would touch it. I let it slide. But the one time something of mine was broke and something of someone else's was broke were these two grown women. There was these two grown women, and the lady was like, I'll show you what it was.
Are you saying that two grown women broke, or two women broke your build?
Two grown women. One grown woman broke my build. Another grown woman broke another build.
Okay, so I thought you said they were having breakdowns in the middle of this Lego show, and I'm like,
No.
hey, that's funny. B,
Ooh.
oh, honey.
Ooh, I have a follow up. So it was a tree on a build, and it was this, and it's like a birch tree.
Yeah.
So she was pointing out it. She's like, "Oh, I love that tree." I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." Blah blah blah. It's not my design. I saw a friend who did it. Blah blah blah. And she's like, "But that's not Lego." And I was like, "It is." She's like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "Lego are like those blocks." I was like, "Oh, okay." I've heard this where people are like, "Wow, Lego is so different from when I was a kid. They used to just be blocks, and now they're all fancy." And I'm like, "No, it's all Lego." And she's like, "Not that piece." And I was like, and she felt bad, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine." I'm like, "It's all right. My builds are pretty fragile. It's okay." But I fixed it. But I was like, first thing, it is Lego. Second, don't touch. And then another lady, a friend of mine, had a castle build with a drawbridge, and the lady wanted to see if the drawbridge worked. So she shoved her grubby mitts in there and started spinning the thing with the chain and pulling on the chains to try to get the drawbridge to work. And he walked over, he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I wanted to see if the drawbridge worked." And he's like, "Well, ask if it works." And she's like, "I didn't see anyone near it." He's like, "Then don't touch it." Don't touch
Wow.
it. I had a friend at Brick Fair who he built this dragon, and some kid, I was not there, but I heard the story, picked up the build, picked up the dragon. So it's like this big, picked up the mock and is holding it. And it was my friend and his wife is just sitting there, just like doesn't know what to do. She's in shock and awe of the audacity.
Yeah.
And she's like, look over here, telling her husband, "Look over here, stop this, stop this." And he turns around and he sees the kid, and his mom is taking pictures of the kid holding the dragon.
Oh
my god.
And he's like, "What are you doing? Put that down." And she looks over, she's like, "What?" He's like, "Your son can't be touching that." She's like, "We paid to be in here."
Oh.
And he's like, "Still, you can't touch that." And she's like, "It's a toy. He's a child. It's fine."
Oh, man.
But
Ma'am.
it's not theirs.
Yeah, and of course, so yeah, literally, I'm like, okay, your child is first thing. Your child is too old to know that that's not okay.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, and you are definitely too old to know that that's not okay. It was weird. It was weird.
People are the worst.
It just seems like how hard is it to respect basic personal property?
That's, yeah. Man. That's one of the things that like does like bugs the shit out of me. Like there's things that I want to touch. Like when I was doing them, when I was painting, when I came down to Steven, I would not touch the serpent. I wouldn't touch anything. I would be lift from the top of my little dinky thing and put it there, and then move away. And like that was still like over the line. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But on the other hand, it was also like one of the times we were there, and they showed up, and they're like, "Hey," because we were outside when they got there, and we're like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Yada yada. And they pulled up in a brand new car, and I was like, "Huh."
Well,
And Julian looked at me and was like, "What?" Nothing. So Mark and Steven walk out, and I'm like, "So that's what you did with the prize money, huh?" And they both just kind of like froze and looked at me, and I was like, "I have no qualms about calling you out."
but they don't live there. That would have been a rental car.
No.
Oh, they drove.
Georgia
That's right.
plates.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Georgia temporary plates.
Oh, this is new. New.
Okay, I want to know what the car was now.
It was like a Sonata,
Oh,
like
that's
something
not
your
that.
mom would buy.
Yeah.
Something my mom would buy because it's
So-
fancy.
Do you think they actually told anybody beforehand,
Yes.
like that they won?
Oh yeah.
I think they told Beyond the Brick.
Yeah, I do
No.
too, because they were there for that thing, and probably their Atlanta Brick Company knew as well.
Like I'm pretty sure that Giddens knew. Like Chris, presume.
Oh, okay.
And I know Moto knew, but Moto's very tight-lipped about that stuff. So
Well, yeah, I'm assuming all the cast knew because they have a whole forum that they talk on, right?
right, they have a little group thing.
Yeah.
Both seasons of the cast have a Facebook group that they belong to that we're not supposed to know about. So this is the progress of tonight so far.
You've been talking to us a lot though too, so
Well, I've also been digging. I think that I don't know. I think I'm gonna probably finish this sometime tomorrow. I've got stuff to do with Don and his family, and then probably fire up the camera Monday night and do it then. And then that way, I will still keep my commitment to Joseph, which I appreciate him committing to the Patreon. And so yeah, we're gonna land this plane as it were. So thanks everybody for showing up. I know that you probably expected something else tonight, but tonight was just building and just chilling out. Like I said on the Instagram message, we a member of the panel lost a family member, and he was new to the panel, but he was the first friend I made when I moved to Oklahoma. And if you know who I'm talking about, great. If not, that's okay too. But send good vibes. If you believe in a God, pray for him and his family. Any of that if you can. So thank you all again for showing up. Those that did a listen through again, welcome and thank you. Matt Keller, you were one of our new faces tonight, so thank you very much for showing up. As they say in the biz, if you like what you saw, please give a like and a subscribe. And if you're really interested in seeing us thrive, oh my God, that almost rhymes. Go ahead and check out our Patreon. We're gonna revamp things here pretty soon. Mostly get rid of me sticking my finger in my belly as a picture. Apparently that's a deterrent. So we're going to start our memberships at $1 a month. So that way we're saving money for some people. And, there's nothing really planned right now for what the tiers do except to get your name in the credits. So that's it. And I also try to upload a video once a month about collection news and like stuff that I don't usually talk about on the channel. So you all have a nice day. Have a nice night. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you next week when we talk about vampires. So
It's gonna suck.
Aww.
No, it's gonna bite.
Wear a mask, everybody. Transgender human rights. Have a wonderful evening. Also, get your goddamn shot.